So I just quickly wanted to talk about Dragon's Dogma 2. There's so many people talking about how good of a game it is, and I can't, in good faith, say that it's better than any RPG that's ever been made other than the new Lords of the Fallen. That's the only game that it might be better than in terms of RPGs. It does literally nothing. It does actually fuck all to separate itself from other RPG games. You have the fact that being able to control your pawn now is paid walled. In the first one, it was just a fucking command chair you just went up to and you're like, hey, don't do this, do this. Now it's, nope, sorry, paywalled, bitch. And then on top of that, in one, right, they already saw the problem that was exploring their game. They already saw the problem. So when they released the Dark Arisen DLC, they just included a fucking eternal fairy stone, just a infinite use fast traveling item. So that from the beginning of the game, they realize the problem with Dragon's Dogma 1 is that it most of the time feels like a fucking walking simulator because there isn't fuck all to look at, fuck all to do, and it's just fucking boring, most of the exploration in Dragon's Dogma 1. In Dragon's Dogma 2, it's even worse, though, because they literally, for the most part, copy-paste a lot of the environmental textures, a lot of even the buildings themselves, I feel like copy-pasted. I mean, look outside the main city in Dragon's Dogma 2, it looks like the same exact broken-down aquifer that's in 1 outside of Grand Soren. So I'm not even entirely sure if it's even a different game outside of the new area, which I haven't even gotten to because I cannot get through this slog fest of a fucking RPG that is known as Dragon's Dogma 2. And when you have a previous entry in the franchise, right, you have to compare it to the second one. What do they improve? What do they work on? What do they do? Well, the only thing that I can see that they did any differently with Dragon's Dogma 1 in comparison to 1 is the fact they added a new area. And that's it. It's literally Dragon's Dogma 1, but with the new area on top of it. It's literally just like, okay, but it's worse because not only did they remove most of the stamina recovery items in the game, which nerfs the fuck out of melee builds. I don't give a fuck what you think about it. Being able to recover your stamina and spam out your skills allows you to literally just up your DPS by almost an indefinite amount, okay? So the fact that stamina recovery items are so hard to get literally not only nerfs the melee builds, which already cannot handle flying units, cannot handle harpies, cannot handle mandicores, cannot handle dragons. By the way, dragons, the most fucking important probably still, if they still kept the Dragon Forge mechanic, I don't know, but if they kept the Dragon Forge mechanic, dragons are the most, that's the pinnacle of the fucking, you know what I mean? You want to kill dragons, but you are not incentivized to do so as a melee build because they fly. And yes, of course, they do fly in a way which allows you to sometimes grab their tail, walk up to them, and blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the times, because the fucking game has slants, it has, mountains and stuff that go like this, the dragon will sometimes be like 60,000 million miles above you, and your AI, your pawns, because you can't really control how they work anymore outside the very beginning when you're creating her, and you don't really know what any of these options actually mean, just won't fucking attack him because he's too busy healing you and buffing all the characters that are already buffed. So it's just like, what the fuck? I had to deal with, not only in the second game, I have to deal with the healing items not being able to heal me to full, so punishing me for just simply playing the game. I explored for too long. I took too much damage. Now I have to stop playing the game and go to the nearest town, or have a backpack in my inventory, which will take up an entire fifth of my entire inventory just to be able to camp and not have to go to the nearest town. You have the fact that they nerfed the absolute fucking dick shit out of all of the fucking melee builds by making the stamina recovery items so fucking hard to get, and then on top of that, changing a lot of the stamina recovery items into health items, which again don't heal you to full health anymore. So it's literally just worth as much. It's actually worth. It is worth less. It's worth less than having a healer on your team, because at least with the healer on your team, you can use that inventory for other shit. You know what I mean? Sure, like you could pause the menu before you take damage to heal up to as much as you can before you take damage, and you can't heal up to full anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, why the fuck am I exploring most of this map? Because most of the items that are discoverable are literally healing items, which won't heal me to full health anymore. Okay? Like, what? I'm sorry. I don't understand how anyone can possibly think that Dragon's Dogma 1 is worse than Dragon's Dogma 2, when in Dragon's Dogma 1, I can take critically important quest items, duplicate them, get whatever passive ability they have for the rest of the game, give them the duplicated item back, and then get an entirely different ending for my game. Okay? What the fuck? How hard is it to program a black cat shop in 2? Like, how hard could it possibly be to make a shop where you can duplicate items? Like, what the fuck? Like, that shouldn't have been something they removed. That's Dragon's Dogma 1, in my opinion, is the Black Cat shop. That is the thing that separates Dragon's Dogma 1 from every single RPG that has ever existed before, since, and after, is the fact that you are able to duplicate items. Literally name a single fucking RPG that allows you to duplicate a quest item that will allow you to turn the duplicated quest item in to get a different outcome on a quest. That's fucking insane that they would remove that. That was Dragon's Dogma 1's identity, I feel. And they just gone, all right? So you not only have melee builds, which, by the way, this is also still a thing in the first one. Melee builds never been as good as range builds, but they made them worse in 2 because you cannot just spam your moves because stamina recovery items are so fucking hard to come by now. And on top of that, it's not enough. It's not enough. They fucking paywalled the fast travel. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking literally an issue they saw in 1, a game that is not even half the size? It's like 1/3 the size. They just gave that shit to you at the beginning of the fucking game. Now it's fuck you, go find them. What the fuck, dude? Nah, what? Dragon Dogma 2, shit ass game. The only other worst RPG in history might be the new Lords of the Fallen game. Straight up on God. Holy shit. I have played almost every single fucking RPG. I've played Kingsfield. I haven't played a worse RPG than the new Lords of the Fallen and the new Dragon's Dogma 2. God, they're so bad. Dragon's Dogma 2 is at least more of a game than Lords of the Fallen, but at least Lords of the Fallen, I could actually play it to about the halfway point before wanting to shoot myself in the fucking head with how bad the boss design was, how bad the map design was, with how bad all the enemy design was. With 2, it's so fucking boring. Fuck, it's just 1, but worse. At least Lords of the Fallen, new Lords of the Fallen isn't even remotely the same fucking game as the old Lords of the Fallen. So it's a fresh experience. You know what? I think that's what it was. I think the reason why I was even able to play Lords of the Fallen for as long as I was able to was because it was a fresh experience, unlike the new Dragon's Dogma 2, which is literally just a shittier version of 1. I'm losing my mind now a little bit. Because I've just been for fucking months now hearing about the Dragon's Dogma 2, one of the best games ever made. It's not even close. It's so bad. Anyways, that's my fucking rant.